My friend's mother and father are the worst people in the world. They tried everything they could to break us up, and it all started with this stupid prophecy. It was during one of our Dungeons & Dragons campaigns. Our characters had just defeated the BBEG, the big bad evil guy, and as a reward, the king gave me. He gave me an amulet that gave me advantage on all saving throws against being cursed. My character didn't really need it since I was already pretty good at the game, so I asked if my friend's character could have it instead. The dungeon master said that was fine and slipped the amulet into his character's inventory. That was until we got to the part where we went to collect our rewards from the king. He looked at my friend and said, "Ah, you have something of mine, I believe." He reached into the bag and pulled out the amulet. Before any of us knew what was happening, he placed it around my friend's neck and said, "There you go. Now when you take damage, instead of saying I take the hit for you, you will say you are welcome. Then whoever attacked you must retreat or they will take additional damage." My friend looked horrified. That was not in the plan. The king continued, "I don't know how well you adventurers understand the gravity of the situation, but this curse is permanent. Even if you were to die, your soul would be bound to this amulet and you would become a ghost, forced to wander the mortal plane repeating you are welcome, until your form eventually dissipates into nothingness." My friend started to cry. His character was only level 2, and he wasn't exactly built to be taking hits for people. This was going to kill him. I felt so bad for him. As we made our way back to the tavern, my friend looked at me and whispered, "How do I get rid of it?" I shrugged. The DM hadn't told me anything about removing the curse, and I didn't want to lie to my friend and say something that might not be true. It wasn't until later that night, after everyone else had gone to bed, that I crept into his room. I sat on his bed and said, "Hey, I think I found a way to remove the curse." He looked up at me with puffy eyes and asked, "Really? How?" I told him I had spoken with an old woman who lived outside of town, a hermit who was rumored to have knowledge of all things mystical. She lives in a hut in the forest. No one knows what kind of magic she has, but people come to her hoping she can help them with their problems. I told him she might be able to remove the curse from the amulet. "But there's one problem," I said. "She only helps those she deems worthy, and I think she might find you a little too annoying." He looked at me confused. "What do you mean?" I mimicked his voice. "You're so mean. You're so mean." "Well, yeah, I've been a bit grumpy lately, but I can change, I promise." I nodded. "Okay, then I'll ask her if she'll help you. But if she says no, you have to promise not to get angry." He looked at me with pleading eyes and whispered, "I promise." So the next day I went to the hermit's house. She agreed to help, but before I could even tell her about the curse, she said, "I already know why you're here. Hand over the amulet." I hesitated. Was she trying to steal it? No, as soon as I gave it to her, she placed it around her neck and disappeared in a puff of smoke. When she reappeared, she was wearing a long, flowing robe, and when she turned to face me, her eyes glowed with power. She looked at me and said, "Your friend has great potential, but he's also very annoying. If he wants to be taken seriously, he needs to learn that sometimes the best way to deal with an enemy is to let them get close enough so you can punch them right in the face." I stared at her dumbfounded. She continued, "Tell him I say he has honor and courage, but lacks discipline. Tell him he needs to focus on improving his weaknesses if he wants to become a great hero." She vanished again, leaving me alone in the hut with a small smile on my face. I returned to town and told my friend what the hermit had said. He took it all in stride and thanked me for coming to help. We went on to slay many more monsters together, and although we never did defeat a lich, I think my friend actually became a better player because of that stupid prophecy.